Teruan Saranai Pinutini, dear friends in the Dhamma, welcome to our online broadcast here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. As mentioned yesterday, we are beginning our series of online puja, chanting, meditation, and Dhamma reflection for your well-being, for your continued practice, as well as to commit yourself daily during this rains retreat, which begins as of today for the next 3 months. Our Katina program, or the robe offering ceremony, which symbolizes the end of the retreat, is scheduled for Saturday, November the 25th, and we hope you'll be able to join in that program as well. We began this series again to support your practice, and you are free to sponsor the program by coming in person or even sponsoring from home, so that you can participate during this 3 months of spiritual months in the Buddhist calendar. The rains retreat is the time when the monks commit themselves and devotees also commit themselves to enhancing their spiritual practice throughout. And we believe you will be able to make the most out of it during this broadcast season. So today the puja, the first puja, is sponsored by Mr. Medwan and Mrs. Vinita Samarasinghe, and the intention is to bless and share merit with beloved parents on both parties, as well as brothers and sisters. So Mr. Medwan Samarasinghe would especially like to share merit with departed relatives, Bertie Dove, Wilfred, and Viola. May they be blessed, and may they be happy and peaceful wherever they are. May they receive our merit and make their lives prosperous in the sansaric lives, and eventually may they attain the blissful state of Nibbana. Furthermore, the family, the couple, would like to bless their children and in-laws. So son Yasaru and in-law or daughter-in-law Ilaka, daughter Danita and son-in-law Elliot, and also Rasita. So may they be successful in their practices, may they be successful in their careers, profession, and education. May they all be well, happy, and peaceful, and most importantly, be blessed with good health and happiness throughout. And may they all have a successful future. So with such kind intention, Mr. and Mrs. Samarasinghe have sponsored the day today. And as mentioned yesterday, all fundraised or all sponsorship will be contributing to our building fund, which we have launched to purchase a permanent place for the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. And please feel free to spread the message. And if you require any further information, please do contact myself or the team or anyone that you may know that are connected to the Vihara, the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. So let us begin our worship today by observing precepts. Please say sadhu 3 times and say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Saranang gacchāmi.
Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Saranang gacchāmi.
Sanghaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
Saranang gacchāmi.
Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi.
saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surāmēraya majjapamādaṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surāmēraya majjapamādaṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Tisaranena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammang sādhukang surakkhitāṃ kattvā apamādena sampādē tabbang.
Bhakti.
Let us worship the Buddha together. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasārate sattā deva manussanang buddho bhagavati. Buddhaṃ jīvita pariyantang saranang gacchāmi. Ye ca buddha atitā ca ye ca buddha anāgata. Paccapanna ca ye buddha ahang vandami sambada. Natti me saranang anyang buddho me saranang varang. Etene sacca vajjene hotu me jaya mangalang. Uttamangena vandehang padapang suvaruttamang. Buddheyo khalito doso buddho khamatu tang mamang. Swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko ehi passiko opanayiko paccattāṃ veditabbo viññuhiti. Dhammang jīvita pariyantang saranang gacchāmi. Ye ca dhamma atitā ca ye ca dhamma anāgata. Paccapanna ca ye dhamma ahang vandami sambada. Natti me saranang anyang dhammo me saranang varang. Etene sacca vajjene hotu me jaya mangalang. උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං ධම්මංච ත්‍රිවිධං වරං ධම්මේයෝ කලිතෝ දෝස ධම්මෝ කමතු තං මමං සුපටිපන්න භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ උජ්ජපටිපන්න භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපටිපන්න භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචිපටිපන්න භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුග්ගලා ඒස භගවතු සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති සංඝං ජීවිත පරියන්තං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි යේච සංඝා අතීතාච යේච සංඝා අනාගතා පච්චපන්නා චයේ සංඝා අහං වන්දාමි සම්බදා නත්ථි මේ සරණං අඤ්ඤං සංඝෝ මේ සරණං වරං ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු මේ ජය මංගලං උත්තමංගේන වන්දේහං සංඝං ච ත්‍රිවිධෝත්තමං සංඝේයෝ කලිතෝ දෝසෝ සංඝෝ කමතු තං මමං ඝනසාරප්පදිත්තේන දීපේන තමදංසිනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං වන්නගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ච හෝතු මොක්ඛං පුප්පං මිලායාති යතයි ධම්මේ කායෝ තථායාති විනාශ භාවං අදේවාසේතුනෝ බන්තේ පානීයං පරිකප්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පටිගන්හාතු උත්තම අදේවාසේතුනෝ බන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං ඉමං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පටිගන්හාතු උත්තම අදිවාසේතුනෝ බන්තේ බේසජ්ජං පරිකප්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පටිගන්හාතු උත්තම වන්දාමි චේතියං සබ්බං සබ්බඨානි සුපතිට්ඨිතං සාරීරික ධාතු මහා බෝධින් බුද්ධ රූපං සකලං සදා යස්ස මූලේ
නිසින්නෝව
Sambari Vijayang Akapato Sabbanyutang Sattha Vande Tang Bodhipadepang Ime ete Mahabodhi Lokanatena Pujita Aham pite namassami Bodhiraja namaste Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang Acchayang kamame bante puripanya tathagata Etavatācamhehi sambhatāṃ puñya sampadāṃ sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyā Etavatācamhehi sambhatāṃ puñya sampadāṃ sabbe bhūtā anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyā Etavatācamhehi sambhatāṃ puñya sampadāṃ sabbe sattā anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiyā Idamme ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātīnaṃ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Imina puñya kammene māmi bāla samāgamo Sataṃ samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā Idamme puñyaṃ āsavakkayā vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. You are joining to a live broadcast here from the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. We go live every day at 6:30 during this rains retreat, providing with opportunities for spiritual development, moral development, as well as to enhance your knowledge and practice. So we believe this is a helpful way to connect with you. You can come in person if you sponsor for the puja, or you can also participate and sponsor from home, where you can practice the Dhamma yourself as well. So we are going to do chanting now, and we're going to bless the sponsors, Mr. and Mrs. Samarasinghe, so Mr. Methun and Mrs. Vinita Samarasinghe and family, Yasaru and son Yasaru and daughter-in-law Ilaka, daughter Danita and son-in-law Elliot and Rasita. May the whole family be blessed with good health and happiness. May the lives of children and in-laws be successful, and may their well-being be continued with the blessings of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And as sponsors, they would also like you as listeners, and also to every community that they are associated with. May all members be well, happy and peaceful, and most importantly be blessed with good health. So we will chant the Ratana Sutta. Please listen to the chanting with great attention and respect. And if you know the sutta, you can join us when we chant, so that we can chant together. Samanta cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devata saddhammang munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkadang parittassavana kalu ayang bhadanta parittassavana kalu ayang bhadanta Paritta dhamma savana kalu ayang bhadanta නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි වයන්තලික්ඛේ සබ්බේව භූතා සුමනා භවන්තු අතෝ පිසක්කච්ච සුනන්තු භාසිතං තස්මාහි භූතානි සාමේත සබ්බේ මෙත්තං කරෝත මානුසියා පජාය දිවාචරත්තෝ චහරන්තියේ බලෙන් තස්මාහිනේ රක්ඛත අප්පමත්තා යංකින්චි විත්තං ඉදවාහුරං වා සග්ගේසු වායං රතනං පනීතං නනෝ සමං අත්ථි තථාගතේන ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු khයං විරාගං අමතං පනීතං යදජ්ජගා සක්්‍ය මුනි සමාහිතෝ නතේන ධම්මේන සමත්ති කිංචි ඉදම්පි ධම්මේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යං බුද්ධ සෙට්ඨෝ පරිවන්නයි සුචින් සමාධිමානන්තරිකඤ්ඤමාහෝ සමාධිනාතේන සමෝන විජ්ජති ඉදම්පි ධම්මේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේ පුග්ගලා අට්ඨ සතං පසත්තා චත්තාරි ඒතානි යුගානි හොන්ති තේ දක්ඛිනේය සුගතස්ස ශාවකා ඒතේසු දින්නානි මහප්පලානි ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේ සුප්පයුත්තා මනසා දල්හේන නිකාමිනෝ ගෝතම සාසනම්හි තේ පත්තිපත්තා අමතං විගයිහ ලද්දා මුදා නිබ්බුතින් භුඤ්ජමානා ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යතින්ද කිහිලෝ පඨවෙන් සිතෝසියා චතුබ්බේ වාතේභිය සම්පකම්පියෝ තතුපමං සප්පුරිසං වදාමි යෝ අරිය සච්චානි අවෙච්ච පස්සති ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යේ අරිය සච්චානි විභාවයන්ති ගම්භීර පඤ්ඤේන සුදේසිතානි කිංචාපි තේ හොන්ති බුසප්පමත්තා නතේ භවං අට්ඨමං ආදියන්ති ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු සහවස්ස දස්සන සම්පදාය තයස්සු ධම්මා ජහිතා භවන්ති සක්කාය දිට්ඨි විචිකිච්ඡිතං ච සීලබ්බතං වාපිය දත්ති කිංචි චතුහ පායේහි ච විප්පමුත්තෝ චචාබිඨානානි අබබ්බෝ කාතුං ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කිංචාපිසෝ කම්මං කරෝති පාපකං කායේන වාචා උදචේතසාවා අබබ්බෝසෝ තස්ස පටිච්චාදාය අබහබ්බතා දිට්ඨ පදස්ස බුත්තා ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වනප්පගුම්බේ යතහා පුස්සිතග්ගේ ගිම්හාන මාසේ පඨමස්මින් ගිම්හේ තතුපමං ධම්මවරං අදේසයි නිබ්බානගාමින් පරමං හිතාය ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වරෝ වරඤ්ඤ වරදෝ වරාහරු අනුත්තරෝ ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි ඉදම්පි බුද්ධේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු හීනං පුරාණං නවං නත්ති සම්භවං විරත් චිත්තා ආයතිකේ භවස්මින් තේකීන බීජා අවිරුල් හිච්ඡන්දා නිබ්බන්ති දීරා යතයන් පදීපෝ ඉදම්පි සංඝේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි වයන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි වයන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං ධම්මං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානි වයන්තලික්ඛේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං සංඝං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන දුක්ඛාවෝපසමෙන්තුතේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන භයාවෝපසමෙන්තුතේ ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන රෝගාවෝපසමෙන්තුතේ සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන බුද්ධ රතනං ධම්ම රතනං සංඝ රතනං තින්නං රතනානං ආනුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මක්ඛන්ධානුභාවේන පිටකත්තයානුභාවේන ජිනසාවකානුභාවේන සබ්බේතේ රෝගා සබ්බේතේ භයා සබ්බේතේ අන්තරායා සබ්බේතේ උපද්දවා සබ්බේතේ දුන්නිමිත්තා සබ්බේතේ අවමංගලා විනස්සන්තු ආයුවඩ්ඩකෝ ධනවඩ්ඩකෝ සිරිවඩ්ඩකෝ යසවඩ්ඩකෝ බලවඩ්ඩකෝ වන්නවඩ්ඩකෝ සුඛවඩ්ඩකෝ හෝතු සබ්බදා දුක්ඛ රෝග භය වේරා සෝකා සබ්බේ උපද්දවා අනේකා අන්තරායාපි විනස්සන්තු ච තේජසා ජය සිද්ධි ධනං ලාභං සොත්ති භාග්‍යං සුඛං බලං සිරියායුච වන්නෝච බුද්ධි ච යසවා සතවස්සා ච ආයුච ජීව සිද්ධි භවන්තු තේ Devo vassatu kalena sassa sampatti hetu ca pito bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu loka sasanang akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu dhamma desanang akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu mang paranti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So if you are listening to us, we have just finished chanting the Ratana Sutta, one of the suttas uttered by the Buddha, delivered by the Buddha for the well-being of the majority, the community, for every celestial beings. So we chanted the sutta to bless you as listeners, as well as those participating from home, as well as the sponsors. Wishing you good health and happiness. May you be blessed throughout. So with that kind intention, we concluded the chanting. So we have begun our online broadcast as of yesterday, and today is the series of program during the Rains Retreat here at the London Mindfulness Meditation Center, which gives you the opportunity to commit yourself daily as well as to enhance your spiritual practice from home, or even if you do sponsor, you can come and join us in person at the Vihara. And all the sponsorship and the fundraising will go to our building fund, where we are hoping to be permanently based. So with that intention, we encourage you to also spread the message so that many more people can actually be part of the establishment of the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. So yesterday when we began the program, we did me inform that we will be sharing a short reflection for your own well-being, food for thought, and we will be developing it to a series of talks. So yesterday we mentioned the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, which is the first sermon of Buddha, and linking that to the continued sermon, I'd like to today share about one word which grasped my mind. So the sutta was uttered to the renounced individuals. So as we mentioned in the past, the word used by the Buddha is bhikkhave as well as pabbajitena. So which means, so those who have renounced and become recluses, or those who are committing themselves to spiritual practice. And the Buddha mentions that there are two extremes to be avoided, as you all know, and as well as if you do not know, there are self-indulgence, so indulging into sensual pleasures that will actually develop a form of identity, as well as connecting with the external objects as well as the world. The second is self-mortification, so it is the great deeply rooted thought of rejection, and therefore sometimes committing yourself to negative practices, which is also seen by the Buddha as wrong. As an ascetic, the Buddha practiced that, and with his experience he came to realize that that does not bring any fruition, nor does it benefit to anyone who is practicing. And that is linking to the development of our own suffering. So both of them will lead to suffering. Self-indulgence, so indulging into sensual pleasures, and self-mortification, the rejection of and practicing some harmful practices for your own gratification, which hoping you'll bring you liberation, but in return will actually bring you more pain and suffering. So he then talks to the monks in the sutta and says that if you take the middle path, which even in the last Rains retreat, we began to talk about those Eightfold Paths. So the Eightfold Path becomes the balanced way of life. So my point today is to go to the causes of suffering, and rather than the background of the sutta, which I've just done. So in the Four Noble Truth, where the Eightfold Path is part of the Four Noble Truth, the first is definitely the unpreferable moments in our life, and perhaps the point of dissatisfaction that we generate throughout, which sometimes rather than unhappiness, we sometimes use the word suffering. So suffering, dissatisfaction, disagreements, any form of things that do not suit into your mindset or frame of mindset leads to some form of unhappy moments. And in the examples, if you are new to this, I will just quickly mention the 8. So the first is birth, then is aging and becoming ill, and obviously dying or losing someone, or death. Then there is also the practice of things which turn into some moments of bitterness, such as having to associate with unloved ones, being in company with some unloved ones, again to separate from loved ones, which is painful. So sometimes it can be distancing, or even it can be death when you lose someone. The 7th one is not getting what you want, which also links to what I want to explain, as well as later on to the summary, which is in a sense, it is the grasping or the clinging of the 5 aggregates. So these will be discussed gradually throughout in future talks or reflections. So in the sutta, the Buddha uses the word parinyeya, which means to really identify and understand what this is. So I'm not necessarily saying that you have to go through this, but it is the understanding or seeing that there is this moment, and that is what we should be doing with the word suffering. Not running away from it, not actually reacting to it, but realizing the presence of it when we experience those. So if someone is experiencing those, then we use the word or that moment of suffering. So if you're in pain, physical, we will say, I'm suffering with this pain. Some people might have pain with emotions, so it can be mental pain, or even sometimes go into further extreme, and sometimes people might use the word, stress, depression, and so. And sometimes it can also turn clinical. But these are resulting moments. And once we see this, the Buddha gives us a very good method to identify what actually brings about these moments of dissatisfaction, moments of unhappiness, or even the word suffering that we quite commonly use. So what is the reason for this? So the reason the Buddha gives, which is according to perhaps his method of explaining, is cause and effect. So once you see something, then only you see the cause. If you don't see the moments of experiences, we might not see the moments of cause. So once we identify the moments of suffering, then only we will be able to identify the roots, the causes, which the Buddha uses the word tanha. Tanha means craving or thirst. So thirst is obviously sometimes synonymously used the word greed, sometimes preferences, and sometimes most importantly, the widely used is craving. So when you use the word craving, we have another misunderstanding. So sometimes when you use I'm craving for chocolate might mean that you want to eat chocolate at this moment, and then once you eat chocolate, that is over. So the word thirst means, or Trishna or Tanha means, it doesn't bring to the moment of quenching. So when you are thirsty, no matter how much you drink, sometimes it doesn't quench. So that desire is the unquenching moment which we need to realize, and we need to gradually unpack our moments of causes so that we can free ourselves from those moments of suffering and dissatisfaction. So as I said, one word grasped my attention for a long time, which I want to share today, and with a few moments of reflection on that, we will come to the close of this Dhamma reflection. So in the Dhammacakkappavattana, the Buddha uses the word Pono Bhavika, which is renewed existence. And it really, really brings us to the base of what the Buddha wanted us to actually understand. Renewed existence, Pono Bhavika. So every moment becomes a new moment. Sometimes want does not necessarily bring that new renewed moment. I want to eat something does not necessarily bring you that renewed moment once you've eaten, but the resulting can come to that moment of renewed existence. So it then narrows down, and when the Buddha explains that, then he talks about the three types of craving. So kama tanha, so sense pleasure or sensual pleasures. Bhava tanha, continued existence or the continuity of that pleasure. And vibhava tanha, the discontinuity or the desire for the discontinuity of such experiences. And that is quite important to understand. Kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha, which then roots to, again, the moment of ignorance. So we can infer the understanding of the three unwholesome roots. So because of ignorance or because of the lack of understanding of the reality of the truth, we develop two moments of decision making, which is you like or you dislike. So like is with the bhava tanha. You like something, so you prefer the continuity of it, bhava tanha. And then when you don't like, whether it is experience, whether it is some form of encounter, then or any form of threat or insecurity or any moments of dislikes become vibhava tanha. And that then always generates this new renewed existence called Pono Bhavika. So if I refer to the kama tanha, which is the desire to please the sensory experiences, so whether it is seeing, whether it is hearing, listening, whether it is tasting, smelling, and also your physical senses. Now, if you dislike one moment, so for example, I'm sitting down here, and if I dislike my physical structure because it is giving me some form of sensory discomfort, so I will move a little bit like this. So when I move like this, I am then looking for a renewed existence, which then is the moment of dislike, vibhava tanha, again topped up with, I like this posture, so I'm going to be comfortable, and then that becomes the bhava tanha as well. So all in all, that brings us to that moment of continued renewed existence, because we always look for something, because that moment after a few moments will become unsatisfactory or turns into a dissatisfied moment. So there is a bit of a jumbled up moment sometimes. If you're not mindful, you might not be able to see it gradually developing within your practice or within your moments of thoughts. But in the overall picture, what we see is every moment leads to some form of dissatisfaction because it does not suit to the way you wish or desire for. And therefore, yampi chang nalapi tadhampi dukkhang, the seventh example given by the Buddha, is perhaps what makes us continue to actually crave or desire for something that which will bring you the moments of happiness as an alternative to the moments of that experience, dissatisfied experiences. So that is what the Pono Bhavika, the craving brings that continued or renewed existence. Okay? So you can talk about in the deeper level. It can be about the future lives. It can be about our bhava. But I'm trying to link this to the sutta that I like to discuss gradually called Tayodhamma Sutta. So the reason for the continued existence or our life cycles of samsara is the cause that is immediately felt, that is lobha, dosa, moha, or greed, hatred, and delusion. So as a premise, I bring this in a short reflection for you, just to understand the word Ponobhavika, which is the renewed existence. So this is better understood when we look for a moment of pleasure or moment of happiness or moment of relief when we go through a difficult time or hard time, whether it is physical or whether it is emotional. And that then that yearning for a change, so that it brings about that new existence, which unfortunately sometimes also turns into momentarily experience, and therefore we continue to look for something that is always being pleasant. So that will become kama tanha, because you are yearning for that sense pleasure. You like to see always something that actually pleases your eyes, hear that pleases your ears. So if there is friction to the sensory moments, it becomes a moment of resistance, which then brings that same moment of vibhava tanha, and then looking for something that will please you, so that once you identify that, you will then continue to want that. So this pursuit itself actually makes us our suffering prolong for a long time. So if you are quite versed in the Pali, you can read the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the definition or the examples the Buddha gives when he talks about the second noble truth. Just yayang tanha pono bhavika nandiraga sahagata tatra tatra nandini. So that is the gist. This Pono Bhavika has, as I said, grasped my attention for a while, and I wanted to share some reflection, which of course I will develop this further in future, so that we can understand it more further in depth. Now let us take the moment to practice meditation. Okay, so a few minutes of meditation, so that you can have a bit of a happy experience, perhaps also a happy, moment just for yourself to be peaceful. So, if you are sitting, just take a few moments to adjust if necessary, otherwise stay the way you are staying, and just observe your posture, which you have finalized. So it is about observing the whole body structure. Wherever your mind attention goes, just notice the bends, the contact, the pressure points, any sort of physical sensation. If it attracts your mind, just observe that without any judgment, without liking or disliking, but continue to see it objectively. Now bring your attention to the natural event, breathing. You can see your breath that flows in and out through your nostrils. If you're new to this, you can visualize the whole moment of flow of air going through your nostrils and coming out. So your attention should be at the nostrils as a gatekeeper. So in that statue-like body, one thing that is in motion is the flow of breath. And as you breathe in, just see that air, or visualize that intake or inhalation. and visualize the exhalation. And continuously stay with it, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. It's important to maintain that focus. It can be difficult, but if your mind wanders, just recognize where your mind traveled to. What did grasp your attention? Notice it. It can be a memory, can be an incident that happened earlier, or it can be something that you're planning to do, or it can be a sensation, physical pain or otherwise. So just note it, whatever it is. Don't stay there. Don't write stories about it. Don't try to explain the pain. Don't try to reinterpret what you saw, what you thought. Just notice it without judgment as it is. This is a memory. This is a physical pain. This is a sound. And then let it go. And then come back to your breathing. Sadhu, sadhu. So we have now come to the close of our online broadcast with that meditation, brief meditation. If you have just joined, during this rains retreat, we have begun to go live again, sharing with you our evening worship, chanting and meditation, and at times followed by a short reflection, food for thought or something for you to contemplate to enhance your spiritual practice. And it is that what we aim during this rains retreat. Both monks and devotees get together to enhance their committed practice, and it is to also accumulate merit. And our online broadcast helps you to practice that from home as well, or wherever you are. It also provides you to sponsor the event. So as of today, Mr. Metwan and Mrs. Vinita Samarasinghe would like to share merit with their beloved parents who passed away. So may they receive all merit accumulated today. May they be blessed with happiness wherever they are. May their sansaric lives be peaceful, and eventually may they attain the blissful state of Nibbana. So in particular, there is Mr. Metwan Samarasinghe's siblings, brothers and sisters, so Bertie, Dove, Wilfred and Viola. May they all be peaceful and happy wherever they are. May they eventually attain the blissful state of Nibbana through the aspired method or ways. The family would also like to bless their children, so Yasaru and daughter-in-law Ilaka, so daughter Danita and son-in-law Elliot and Rasita. May they all be successful in their endeavors. May their lives be happy and peaceful. May they be successful in their careers, professions, as well as the education that they're engaging in, and have a very bright future. So with that intention, we say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All your sponsorship will be directed towards the building fund that we are continuing to raise, the funds that we are raising. So we are advertising this as well. So if you would like to sponsor, you can sponsor the puja. So all proceedings will go to the building fund that we are raising for a permanent base of the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. If you wish to know further details, please go to our website, londonmindfulmeditation.co.uk, as well as our Facebook and other social media platforms. If you would like further details, please contact the team or email us at info@londonmindfulnessmeditation.co.uk. Have a restful evening. Take care, and see you tomorrow at 6:30. Okay, Terwan Saranai. Bye bye.